Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the third Linux session. I hope that you are still excited about the course and you are fresh this week to learn more and more Linux commands that will allow you to perform different type of tasks. I hope again that you had time to practice and to go through the different commands we learned last week. So during today's sessions, I'm going to present some useful commands that will allow you to extract more information from files. So we will learn how to search patterns in files and how to extract specific data from a given text file. We will learn how to sort file content. We will learn basic commands that will allow us to compare file contents, like looking for similarities and looking for differences between two different files. We will also learn how to write the results of a given command into a file, which we call results redirection. And we will also learn how to combine different Linux commands. You know, when you perform different bioinformatics tasks, sometimes you need the result of a given command to be given as an input to another command. So we will learn how to do that by the end of this session. So hopefully by the end of today's session, you will be able to search patterns in files and to extract specific columns from a given text file. You will be able to sort your files content. You will also be able to use some very basic commands to compare contents of different files. And you will also know how to redirect the results of a given command into a file if you want to save those results in a given file. You will also be able to combine different commands, as I mentioned earlier, like using the results of a given command as an input to another command. And you will see that you can combine as many commands as you would like to. So let's start by some basic operations on files and how we extract data from different files. I'm going to start by a very useful command that allows you to extract some statistics from a given file, which is the WC commands that stands for word count. So the WC basically prints a new line that contain the number. It prints an output line that does contain the number of lines, the number of words, and the number of bytes in a given file. The syntax is very simple. It's WC followed by some options if you would like to, and then you should give it as an argument a file name that we are going to use, and in which we are going to compute this number of lines, words, bytes, etc. So the most useful options of the WC command are -c, which allow you to print the number of bytes. The -m prints the character counts, and the -l allows you to print the number of new lines count. Of course, if you would like to have more information about this command, you can type man and then the command name, and the command name in this case is WC. I'm going to switch to my terminal and try an example. I'm going to clear my screen. I hope that you can see better my terminal today. Thanks for those who mentioned that it wasn't very clear during the previous sessions. So I hope it's better now. I'm going to compute the number of lines and the number of characters and bytes in a given files in my file structure. Let's see where I am. So I am under genomics, and I do have the FASTA file that we downloaded during the last session. So I'm going to use this file and compute the number of lines and the number of words, etc. From this file. So if I use WC without any argument, it's not going to work because it doesn't know which thing are we going to compute. So if you want to interrupt a command, you can type Control C. So WC requires an argument, which is a name of a file that we would like to get some statistics from it. So I'm going to get the statistics from this FASTA file. And I did not add any argument here, so it's given me the name. It's given me the number of lines, the number of characters, and the number of bytes contained in the file. So here is the number of lines, then followed by the number of characters, and followed by the number of bytes. So if we would like to get only the number of lines, which is one of the most used options of WC, we add the -L, and then we add again the name of the file. So here, as you can see, it's saying that this file contains 228 lines. So we got the first argument we got previously with the WC without any argument. So remember, the WC without any argument gives you the number of lines, the number of characters, and then the number of bytes. And here I combined it with the -L, and it's given me only the number of lines. So it's saying that this file contains 228 lines. All right, so of course you can try different examples. Remember, we created various files during the previous sessions. You can go to these different files and check the number of characters, the number of lines, or whatever. Okay, so I'm going then to talk about some very basic operations on files that allow you to sort and extract various information from one file or two different files. So we're gonna start by the sort command, which is a command that allows you to sort the content of a given file. It's sorted alphabetically, and the syntax is very simple. It's sort followed by the name of the file. Of course, we can add options to the sort, and you can figure out what are the different options using the -M, the man, as we did previously. We are also going to see the unique command, which is a command that allows you to remove duplicated lines from a given file. And again, you can add options after the command name before your file name. The join command is a command that is able to compare the content of two different files, and then outputs the common entries that we find in the two different files. So the syntax of join is join. Of course, it can be followed by some arguments, and then the command join expects two different files, of course, because the aim of the command is again to compare the content of two different files and extract the common entries between both of them. Diff is a command that allows you to output the difference. So it's like the opposite command of, it's like exactly the opposite of what join does. So instead of outputting the common entries, it's going to output the differences between two different files. So the syntax is again the name of the command, which is diff. It can be followed by some arguments, and you should give it as an input two different files because the operation is going to be done on two different files. So let's start by the sort command. So the sort command outputs a sorted order of a file content based on a specified sort key. So by default, it takes the entire input. Like imagine you do have a file containing 4 or 5 different columns containing different types of data, like containing the names of patients, their age, their blood pressure, or any other type of information. So by default, it's going to consider the entire input file. If you do specify a sort key, it's going to consider only the column that you did specify, for example. You can specify the name, the age, the address, or wherever you would like to. So the default separator that is considered is the blank is the default one, and of course you can play with the parameters if you do have different files, like where the separator is a colon, or where the separator is a tab, or wherever you can specify that using some options that follow the sort. The sorted files are used as an input for several other commands. So sort is one of the most used commands in Linux, and it's quite often used combined with other commands. And we're gonna see later how we can combine commands. Of course, if you would like to see more options, you can use the man commands that we saw during the very first session. So by default, the order is done alphabetically. So if I simply use sort followed by the file name, the sorting is going to be done on the based on the alphabetical order. If you would like to get a numerical sorting, you should specify the option -n. If you would like to specify the column on which the sorting is going to be done, you have to specify the number of the column after the option -k. So here the command is sort, the option is -k, and I'm specifying that I would like the sorting to be done on column 4 of the file name that I'm going to specify as an argument. If you would like to change the separator, remember that we said that the default separator for sort is the blank, which is space, basically. So you can specify what separator you are going to use, and you can do that using the option -t. And then here, for example, we are specifying that it's a tab separator, but it can be a semicolon or whatever separator you have in your file. And of course, you specify the file name that you would like to sort.